given to the informal sector, and they have the right, and then they add it to the recycling industry. So there has to be some incentivization, like for forming this kind of linkages between the waste collector to the recycling industry. And once you remove the waste middleman from this chain, then it adds to the value. Another problem which is there in most of the city, like that is of segregation. Why segregation doesn't take place? It's a big question. But
before we go there, so you spoke about increasing the market of the recyclables. How about the rest of the waste? Any longer measures for that?
for that, the incentives which are already there that need to be practiced, and the city compost has to become, should get certain certification, which is not so prevalent now. So that is the thing by which.
How was the rejects from both these processes?
See, unless we head towards the zero waste strategy, and rejects has to be minimized, that is the only policy which we have to take into account.
Does anyone want to speak about the short-term measures?
This e-waste, electronic waste and electrical waste is generally marketable, and that we are doing. Useful electronics parts, people buy from the instruments and they sell it, or they replace the damaged part, and the whole equipment like TV, mobile is also sellable to communities. So a problem is created for the culture of e-waste, because most of the e-waste is being utilized, used in some or the other form after necessary reparation. So this waste is marketable. Now recyclable is also there, and technology available to recycle means to convert one form of the waste into another of the raw material, which can be used to make a product. But we have to implement this type of
the presence of eminent panelist, I would like to put a question seeking their experience. Like from last 10 years, Government of India and we are in the sector. If we take from 2000 onwards, 10 years is not a small period, and a lot of things have come, money is available, sensitization is there, a lot of knowledge is in the country. If I request that what are the top 3 initiatives to be taken on policy level, so that we have a feel-good factor. Now thinking that everything is there, but things are not working. So three things the panel will suggest on policy that should be taken, so that we can act on it. Thank you.
I will respond to that. My vision about it is make waste marketable. Hardly there is anything which is called waste. The writer said that there are almost come to zero. I think in economics there is a concept of utility, and utility is anything that doesn't remain waste. So, create utility, and utility can be created by way of segregation, nothing more than that. If you segregate, it becomes usable and it has marketability. Private people will come to purchase it.
What I think, actually, municipal corporations, they have their own problems. What he said, I agree to this. We become soft. The chairman said, we become soft on corporations because there are inherent problems. Now I think the time has come when we can have some responsibility to resident welfare society, because municipal corporation cannot take care of everything which a resident dreams of. Some responsibility should be given to them, at least the responsibility of segregation of the waste. Waste is marketable only if there is, if the waste is mixed with the biodegradables, mixed with iron, mixed with glasses, mixed with plastic. It is no market at all. But every component separate has a market. So some think of putting some responsibility on residential societies. That will be very nice. And I problem of scavengers and the garbage collectors, the safai walas, what Mr. Agrawal pointed out, problem is genuine. But it is also true, Mr. Agrawal, that of late, not many of them are interested to work. Once they become on regular payroll, everybody is supposed to work hours. They are not turning up for work even for 1 or 2. So, slowly and slowly the municipal corporations and municipal bodies, they are disassociating and going for contract jobs. So, the problem can be solved assessing the need. One keeper or safai wala, 1 to more number can be added with the welfare society and their activities can be regulated. There, this is number 2. Number 3, there are areas in every city where from actually the collection is very difficult. Where, just say, for example, anybody who has party, it is fast expanding. Still, amidst 4-5 plots, there is a vacant plot. And this vacant plot becomes the dumping ground. The garbage from each and every household is there. It gives a very ugly look and it makes a lot of problem also. Somebody comes and burns entire plot, which is not permissible. So, earlier in Assam, there were only 15 roofed houses. Now they are going for multi-story. So everywhere in every locality, we can think of putting what I said in situ to management treatment plants, some plasma incinerators or whatever most appropriate to that. Lot of options are available. So this could also be incorporated.
You can respond. We open that. Yeah, so it's now open. And
Thank you. Shamla Mani from NIU. My submission to the Commissioner of Brihad Mumbai. Sir, as you know, people who have been working on materials, part of which comes out of the garbage, I would like to inform you that everything is not recyclable. I'm sorry to say, but this is something, it has been done often in India, it has been found, but despite that, like many people point out, it is not being documented, it is not being disseminated. So to say that, it's only a matter of separating everything is recyclable and then there is zero waste, I'm sorry, that's not true. So that is number one. Number two is that even in the process of, say, yes? I was basically trying to, give a response to his issue because I thought it was important to say, bring to the, to the forum the fact that, an idea, like if you just go on and on with this idea that, you're going to be able to just separate everything and recycle and make the waste disappear, that's true.
It is true that everything is not recyclable.
And the second thing also, that it is not just separation, whenever you want. It's also important that you separate at a time when it is really worth separating. If you separate, mixed waste after 10 days, when, mercury from something and lead from something else and cadmium from something is already leached into your organic matter, it doesn't matter how much you separate, because most of the rejects which go from a composting plant, from mixed waste, only because of that fact, because it is highly contaminated compost, which is not marketable. So it is not just a marketability alone that issue.
Thank you. What you have said is true. I accept it. But we are administrators and we call administration not possible. So if we are segregating 2%, if I segregate 4%, I will be happy. So we want to increase that percentage.
And suppose something is not recyclable, in MSW rules and other literature, different methods are suggested. Some waste, if possible, can be recycled, can be used. Some to be incinerated. So incineration is suggested, which cannot have other process. It cannot be incinerated, is to be dumped into the land. So TSDF is there. So incineration is suggested, filling, dumping is also suggested, various treatments are also suggested. It is there in the statute books also. So looking at the type of the waste, treatment is suggested.
Question from
Dieter, first a brief statement to Mr. Patil. I think the problem, the solution might be that you need more alliances with other parties. The municipality of Mumbai and management is so complicated and so complex that you cannot solve the problem on your own. You need definitely more alliances with other strategic partners. My question is to any panelist here. I learned in countries, if you look for a good indicator for good governance, you take waste management. Would you say also in India, especially on the local level, local board, but also on the national level, a good indicator for good governance is waste management?
what do you think about the observation, which is a good indicator for local governments or national governments?
It's not considered as a, it is definitely a good, yeah.
No, the aspect I touch in my speech actually, what is impossible to implement is given to the local body. Primary education, solid management, roads and potholes, everything.
In less complicated areas like ours, your suggestion is very relevant, and I must focus it before the government to take very strong initiatives on this. Thank you very much.
Sir. My submission to the panel, can I speak? My name is Rao. I represent Hitachi Zosen India. Just my submission to the panel. So we are all talking about waste management here. It's a good workshop. When we talk about waste to energy, I'm talking about a specific context of waste to energy. Unless there is a tariff policy, the main source of revenue is sale of power. Without knowing the sale of power, how a promoter or developer a project? First point. There is no tariff policy in this country. Without knowing, the guy do not know what price he is going to sell. Nobody tells in this market. No regulator tells. There is no tariff orders in this country for waste to energy. You have a tariff order for solar. In Patna there is something else. In Chennai there is something else. In Mumbai I don't know what tariff the government is buying the power. So in this case, all the government officers are there. To be realistic, a regulator also should come and sit in this panel. A regulator, he should sit in the panel. They should think about this and should really talk and should evolve a tariff policy for the waste to energy. So that these people come to know at what price exactly he is going to sell his power. That is lacking in this country. We have been looking the last years. There is no valid tariff policy in this country. Any amount of debate, discussion will not help us unless there is clarity in the tariff.
This is Gyan Mishra. I'm from Island FS. And this panel is, mostly consists of regulators. But from MOUD, we heard that probably the municipal corporation, the ULBs, are lacking somewhere in implementation. They says that we are confused, we are Arjun, where do we go? I have another thought that all recyclables have been taken out. So how will I get the maximum energy? What happens to my waste? My submission to the panel is that waste management, the primary concern is scientific disposal of waste. Let us first address that. Thereafter we'll think technology, where do we go, how much energy we extract, and then it leads to what Mr. Rao said. From the regulators we expect support. Being implementers expect support. If you understand the subject that the primary concern is scientific disposal of waste, whatever we are getting out of it, be it compost, be it electricity, be it recyclables, you're to provide support by virtue of, like, say, marketing. Somebody mentioned very nice point. What about tariff for waste to energy? Everything, somebody says that decentralized. Decentralization has a threshold. For bioemission, you have a threshold. You have a great NIMBY syndrome, not a backyard syndrome. How do you address 20 locations which are suffering from NIMBY syndrome? We have to think of these things as regulator. Then only you will be able to support the industry.
We do one thing in this regard. We collect plastics, make the bales, and send it to the cement mills for the co-processing. So huge plastic is separated, segregated, freely transported because the transportation cost is borne by the cement companies. So plastics from the states, from designated places only, is going to cement mill for co-processing at very high temperature. Similarly, distillation residue or say incinerable chemical waste is also segregated, separated, transported to cement mills for co-processing. Waste having low calorific value is blended with mixed some waste of high calorie and made it of the calorific value above 4,000 or 5,000, and it is to the cement mills for co-processing. So this way we are utilizing some waste in the co-processing and saving the costly fuel there.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, regulators, though it is it is a state subject, but at certain forum we have raised with them, not only in the solid but water supply sanitation also, but the state government's view is that sufficient number of projects should come home, could work on and they should guide. Not a single project are there, even a single one or two project are there, that is also in very nascent state. So if you put regulator and all these things, that concept not become viable at that stage. So it is in consideration with the state governments, but time is not mature. This is definitely going to come. We have to wait. Thank you.
Mr. Rajit, please let this question hour may be extended for 15 minutes. There are many questions. I think lunch may be delayed for 15 minutes. I think there may not be any problem for the members. Please extend the time for 15 minutes, question hours we want. Is it okay, sir?
Can I? Okay.
So बिना भोजन नहीं भजन गोपाला. So भोजन first, and then this discussion may continue.
We have more panels, so there will be enough room for discussion. Question. And after this, we'll take only one more.
Namaskar. My name is Tal Amit. I come from Israel. I do a research, MA research in sustainable solid waste management in India. I have one remark and questions for two members of the panel. The remark is what we have in the center of the table. We have a box, a kind of thing that we see as recyclables, but these packs are actually highly energetic. And I think, and I want to support in the things that is mentioned, Dr. Agarwal, regarding to ragpick I think there's a big potential in what we see as non-recyclables, with giving incentive to rag pickers and training them and supplying them with the right things for healthcare to pick all these items that fill the streets and dump sites of India today. My two questions, I have one for Prasad Rao. You mentioned that banks and financial organizations that supply with capital, they check five subjects regarding to financing a project. So my question to you is, if they do that, how come projects still fail in India? And maybe you can give the example of the waste to energy RDF facility in Hyderabad. And the second one is for Mr. Churasa. I wanted to ask you a few things regarding to the responsibility of ministries. I see that waste is responsibility of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Ministry of New and Renewable Energies, and the Ministry of Urban Development. Does these three cooperate, or does it cause, let's say, a lack of efficiency in the forwarding towards a sustainable solution for Indian cities? And I wanted to ask you about the benchmarks you have presented. You have presented in many terms 100%. 100% from what? Where are we today? What is the agenda? And when will we reach 100%? And the third one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See, that is about the banking finances of these projects, because the project is going to be a longer period, 25 years. There are a lot of uncertainties they can see. Number one is the economic viability. Economic viability, they will see what is the guarantee of the raw material will be supplied continuously to the concessionaire for 25 years. Though you have a agreement detailing about all these things, but the bank people wanted a specific order from the government for a specific issue. Number one is the quality and quantity of agreed waste to be supplied to the concessionaire for a period of 25 years. Now, the second is what would be the quality. The third is how you going to address get the social acceptance of the project, because most of the projects in the country are failing on this water. Number two is the LaLiT. LaLiT collection and treatment control is a very important aspect of the entire waste management. So if you can see, then the second is the innards, process innards and other innards. You know, if you know, now recently there is a new waste added to the municipal waste called the household hazardous waste. And the bankers will also see what percentage of the household hazardous waste. They can take lead from the concession agreement, then they go on examining each and every issue, and they want a specific government order from all these things. Once they satisfy the order, LaLiT control, then you will automatically get the social acceptance of the project. Then their main concern is the continuance of the project for 25 years, because under the local government laws, the project proponent has to deal with at least 4 councils, and how each council will react to the project. So these kind of uncertainties, they will definitely say they are asking it, and we are providing some answers to them. Then most probably some of the banks are taking their own view, and some of the banks are accepting, and some projects have been funded.
Just I would like to respond. You mentioned about Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Environment, Forest and Urban Development. As far urban development is concerned, as per Constitution, we are looking after at Government of India level related to solid waste management, as far as project formulation, implementation, and setting targets, etc. concerned. Ministry of Environment and Forest is concerned with pollution control related aspects, and they are setting standards that beyond a limit any process should not have pollution. So the role is basically monitoring in as far as this solid waste management is concerned. concerned. And waste to energy, they are only working on new areas where energy can be generated. So solid waste also one sector where non-conventional energy can be generated. So these are the distribution of work between different ministries at Government of India level. Now coming to the second question that you mentioned, 100%, we clearly defined it is uploaded on Ministry of Urban Development website, that is urbanindiacontinuous.nic.in, where we have defined each and every indicator that what does it mean by 100%. Suppose in case of 100% houses in a locality or in a city are there, they all should be collected, means waste collectors should go to each and every house and it should cover. It means 100% and meeting standard. Similarly, for other parameters also it is defined. As far as next part is concerned, timeline you mentioned, timeline in the projects that we are funding, we used to give option to state government to indicate that by when they are going to achieve, and we monitor along with the timeline. As far as those projects we are funding, there are some other funding like 13 Finance Commission funding, where these indicators, state government for their each and every town, they have to upload on the website and they have to notify in the Gazette that they are going to improve a service level from this percentage to that percentage. May not be 100%. Here time is not mentioned, but they have to set their target and achieve, and devolving of fund through 13 Finance Commission is linked with that. So this is what we are doing. Thank you.
Hello.
May I ask any
Mr. Ranjit, backbenchers are not bad student. Please allow us.
So,
my point of clarification to the respected member on dais from the Gujarat, from the Guwahati Pollution Control Board, is that he visited the facility in Guwahati and found only 50 tons being composted, which is actually in line with the concession agreement. And the dichotomy is that when the capacity of the plant was sought to be extended by 150 tons, there is a show cause notice from the Government of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest. It says, it was also observed that a 150 TPD new compost plant is under construction, close to the existing compost plant, and foundation works are being done for the same. No mandatory prior environmental clearance for the same are being done. For the construction of 150 TPD compost plant, it has not been obtained. This is a dichotomy. Do we require additional composting capacity or not? We wait for it. I have mentioned this only as a clarification. No question in this.
coordinator for this session, Dr. A.D. Sawant, to the dais. Professor A.D. Sawant was Pro-Vice Chancellor of Mumbai University. Later on, he was Vice Chancellor in Rajasthan University. Now, and a very keen environmentalist. He is also